Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 99 today, we're close to the century, and there's some really weird goings on in this save. We've got good news off the pitch, we've got bizarre form on it, and of course we've got the excitement of a Carabao Cup quarter-final today. Away against Arsenal, we're unlikely to win, but it's an occasion we can most certainly enjoy. Despite relatively poor form since the last episode, we are clinging on to 7th place in the league, and if you bear in mind that our points per game would have us at 50 points at the end of the season, it's really strange that we're still in 7th place. Having said that, we're only 9 points clear of the relegation zone, so if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on for the rest of the year, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. Arsenal will be the focus in the head coach tomorrow as we face them in a big game in that save. You can find links to the latest season of that one up in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and breaking news, a new merchandise store too. We've got products relating to various series and catchphrases we use in our saves. And to celebrate the occasion for the next couple of weeks, you can get 5% off all products by using the code LOADFM5 at checkout. You can also support the show as a channel member down below by clicking the join button if you wish. But a massive thank you for all of your support as always, as we head in to a very important week for this football club. A chance to get to the League Cup semi-final, albeit an outside one, away at one of the top 5 in Arsenal. And you can see the top of the Premier League. 5 teams separated by 2 points, and then from Spurs down, it's a free-for-all for the rest of the table. We've got a lot of big games coming up as we play the likes of West Ham, Everton and Sunderland, who are all in that mix just below. And if we have a look at our recent form, it has been a real mixed bag. It's unexplainable, to be honest. You were with me for the Palace and Leicester games. We've played 6 since then. We've only won 1 of them, but that game we won by 5 goals. We've got 3 draws, 2 defeats, and our home form's been worse than our away form, which completely contradicts everything we'd had up until the end of the last episode. So we drew 1-1 at home to Sheffield United after the international break. Carlos Torres finding some form. Lovely finish from him to get us the point. We then lost 1-0 at home to Leeds. A second half goal put us to the sword. A 6-1 win against Watford. Danilo Jose, Marco Cordes, Charlie McNeil, Jose Maya and a brace from Carlos Torres. And in that one we actually had to rotate a bit because of a lack of fitness. So almost our backup team did better than our first team, or maybe the heavy legs were what was costing us. We then played Southampton at home and lost by 2-0, and it was the 88th and 93rd minute. It was one of those where we tried to chase the game a bit and we ended up getting caught out. So still not quite at that level where we can go positive and push for a game. A 0-0 draw followed against Newcastle. The clean sheet was everything. We were defending really well. We kept it so tight and I was delighted to pick up the point in the end. And you'll notice we didn't make any changes there because we want to try and rotate the squad per fixture rather than during the 90 minutes. So we made 3 or 4 changes for this second one. A 1-1 draw away at Wolves. We did nick a late equaliser for a Chauvin header, but look who scored the goal against. His first for Wolves, and it was a goal from Oder Foyani, who barely kicked a ball for us, who didn't do that well, but he came back to haunt us, as so many former strikers do. So I wouldn't say we're in the best of form, albeit we've only lost 2 games in 6, but we aren't looking particularly threatening in front of goal. If you take away the 6-1 against Watford's awful defence, we've only scored 3 goals in our last 6 games otherwise. So got to think about being a little bit more progressive. We have got problems up front in the sense that Mario Rica hasn't scored in ages. I'm going to go and give him a little kick up the backside now because you know we like to do that. So we're going to warn him about his recent form and say, don't worry about your goal drought, get in the right positions. And if he can end that in a League Cup quarter final, we'll certainly be a very happy man. You may also notice on this screen, the reason we've come here is a few new contracts. Jack Hanifan has signed a 5-year deal, crucially over doubling his minimum fee release clause from 31 to £80 million. We've done similar with German Morera, whose new release clause is £100 million. And we also had Mario Rica sign a new deal, and he's not got one at all. He's the highest paid player now though, on 45 grand a week. John Moore has signed a 4-year deal as well, so we're really starting to tie down some of this squad for the long term. But there are concerns over a couple still. Jose Maya's got quite a low release clause, but he's not played a huge amount this year. And of course, as the title gives away at the start, we've got the end of an era. Ricky J. Jones is leaving this football club. We'll do a full homage to him in the next episode because he will have left by then. But falling down the pecking order to fourth choice, just 1 goal in 6 substitute appearances in the league this season. He could still do a job for us for a year or two. But I didn't want it to get to the stage where he was a bit part player. So he's going to move on to Salzburg. We still got £10 million for him, by the way. So something we can be proud of there because it's a massive profit for someone we got on a free. But he will be the next name on that list on the 1st of January, which I think will give me a little bit of sadness. So let's go and get through to the fixture list. It is a League Cup quarter-final here. We did really well in the last round with a rotated side. And because we are up in 7th place in the Premier League, I feel I have to rotate a bit again. We've got another game on Saturday against West Ham away. There's 4 days between now and then. There's a few tired legs in this side. If I show you the 11 that played on Saturday, obviously Shabinder's ineligible against his former club. Striker's picked up a knock. And most of the rest of the team is absolutely knackered. So I'm going to have to go full rotation and hope the fresh legs does the job. Back in a minute to run through the 11. Well, here is our squad for today. A last hurrah for Ricky in the Cup. 4 substitutes that we probably can't use because of a lack of fitness. But our 11 in full is John Moore, who keeps his place in goal. But now the other first teamer, he's in a holding role. We got a back 4 of Armin, Mayer, O'Brien and Jose. Bernal, of course, in a holding role, as we've mentioned. Kaplan, Flores and Panjkovic make up the rest of the diamond, with Jones and McNeil up front. Into the Cup quarter-final we go. Looks like an impossible task on paper. Can we deliver a shock? Let's go and find out. Well, 9 changes to our side. Arsenal have made a fair few as well. 6 for them. Tomiyasu and Tierney still the fullbacks 11 years in. Bukayo Saka and Eddie Nketiah off the wide areas. And even other first teamers, the likes of Ramsdale and Odegaard have dropped out. But let's go and get into it because we are huge underdogs for this game. I would love to deliver something special though. The strikers are motivated. Let's see if they can take their chances. Whether they get one or not is another question. Well, nearly a quarter of the game gone as Tomiyasu has the ball on the right with Saka for Arsenal. Lovely little 1-2 as it's worked into Vicente. We've seen nothing from Arsenal so far, so it would have been a shame if that went in, but it was a tame effort straight at John Moore. It does look like they're starting to get on top though, and still dominating on that right-hand side as Albi Armin goes back to Mayer. Support from Flores, wide to Armin again. Could play down the line, but instead just plays into his centre-half. There's no rush to get forward here. But now trying cheeky backheels in his own defensive third. Doesn't sit too well with me. Moore goes long though up to Jones. Flick down for Panjkovic. Doesn't get many chances in the team. But when he does, he's got to take chances like that. 25 gone, still 0-0. Arsenal had more of the stats though. As we're back just past the half an hour mark with Tomiyasu on that right hand side again to Saka. Inside to Vass, over to Tomiyasu. 2 in the middle, they'll score from here surely. Jose heads away, but the danger's not clear. Pabega out to Tierney, who whips a big diagonal ball in. Tomiyasu down for the centre forward. Porter Carrera puts it away really well. But is he offside? It's whether the original ball to Tomiyasu was just too soon. That's what we're going to find out. The referee has got the finger to the ear. We need a reprieve. We get a reprieve. Goal disallowed, still 0-0. And with 10 to the break, it's a Bukayo Saka free kick for Arsenal. They are really starting to get ahead of steam up now. Flores heads the ball away though to McNeil. Be lovely if we could nick one on the break as it finds Flores again in the middle. He goes back to Mayer. Not much in terms of forward movement though, as O'Brien's back to Moore. We're forced all the way back to the keeper. And Mayer brings it out of defence again to Albi Armin. But we're still going backwards and sideways. Can we find the ball out? Look how high Arteta's Arsenal are still pressing. Armin goes over the top though. McNeil's up. He's got him behind. Henan lost his shape. And Garrido makes a spectacular save. Hemel Hempstead Town have a big chance. And despite Arsenal's dominance, we've had the better shots on the counter-attack. Just not taken them as Flores puts it in. Pavlovic wins the header, but Ricky J. Jones is there first. It's going to be so sad to see him go, but I'd love him to go out with a bang. As Bernal goes back to O'Brien, the ball is cleared away. And with 5 to the break, it's Arsenal on the front foot again. Porto Carrero in the box. Bernal does well to win it. Flores just hoofs clear. I was so sure that was going to be a penalty, but Pabega's got possession. Back to Garrido. And Pavlovic, wide to Tierney. Support down the line, instead just carries it himself. And there's not really much pressure on him as Vicente picks it up inside left to Pabega. Tierney again. Can we prevent the cross? No. It's into Saka. And Moore, well, That's the difference between him and Garrido. Garrido kept one out from McNeil, and Saka's one went straight through the slippery wrists of Moore. On the stroke of half-time as well, not the best time to concede. It's 1-0 to Arsenal, probably just about deserved. We're going to tell the lads they're unlucky, and hopefully they can just cling on to the hour mark and we can make some changes. So here we are again, just 7 or 8 minutes into the second half, and Arsenal are pouring down that right-hand side with Saka. Here's Tomiyasu. Big ball into the box. Pabega's up. It's a good save this time onto the post. And Mayer combines to keep it out. We're clinging on for dear life. And look, the front three not able to compete. Albi Armin struggling after injury. I don't really know what subs to make here. I think with 25 to go though, we are going to have to throw the kitchen sink at them. We've only got one fit defender, which is Hanifan. And that doesn't really work with the shape we're playing. I might have to bring on Chauvin and risk it. I think I'm going to. Chauvin on for Armin. Jose will switch to left back. We're also going to bring off Panjovic, who's had a shocking game. He'll be replaced by Carlos Torres. McNeil will drop into the number 10. Rickett will replace Ricky J. Jones. No fairy tale ending for him, but we've now got a big front three on. But with 12 minutes to go, it's an Arsenal corner instead. They've knocked it in from the back post. It's cleared away as far as Elizondo, and he cuts it in from the right to Elmas. Another one of the original players still in the game. It's across the box to Eddie Nketiah. And that is an absolutely brilliant goal from Arsenal. 2-0, the game will be wrapped up with it. And I'm afraid our Carabao Cup run ends at the quarter-final stage. We have still got more changes, I think, so let's just go and make them now. McNeil will be replaced by, I think we might as well bring Ian Watts on, the youngster. Torres will drop into the 10. Ian Watts will get 10 minutes up front. And then Jack Hanifan can come on for Josh O'Brien, who's had a poor game and managed to pick up a yellow card. So let's go and get into the last 5+ stoppages. It's ultimately a disappointing night, but we didn't really expect to get through, and we've put up a fight as Flores finds Bernal. Not sure he'll be fit for the weekend as Hanifan gives it into him again. Up to Torres. Support from Flores. He's got two in behind. One of them's Kaplan. That's a good save from Garrido. And for all of the Arsenal dominance, we've had 3 or 4 really good chances in this game. And that's another one that probably should have been taken. As Flores puts the corner into the back post, Kumbula heads away. And we go into stoppage time, 2-0 down. And probably all but out of the Carabao Cup. We can't begrudge Arsenal the win. They've had 15 shots on target. So now the Premier League becomes even more crucial. We've got a big game at the weekend. A chance to cement 7th place. Or at least keep ourselves in that top half battle. Well, I thought I'd better show you this in between the games. We have got, and I know you can't read too much into it, we've seen it before and it's gone wrong, a potential golden generation from our youth intake preview. Everything is rated A or B down the spine of the team, and all of the positions we use as well. The ones that are weaker are the wingers, are the defensive midfielders, are the wing backs, things we don't go for. But if we can get 3 or 4 really good players in a youth intake, it would just be the perfect way to shape up the rest of this save. And it'd probably make next summer an easy one in the transfer window too. But that's wishful thinking. We'll find out the true youth intake in April. For now though, it's all focus on West Ham United. Back on Saturday for that. Well, it's fitness test time. We'll wait and see who's fit in a minute. But plenty of injuries on the eve of the game. Jose Luis Maya is out for 6 to 7 weeks with a broken toe. And Ian Watts out for a couple of weeks with a damaged heel. Let's go and get into the second game though. It's an important one for us. You can see the gap below closing up. There's 3 teams now on the same points there. And we are still only 9 clear of relegation. So we want to make sure that gap doesn't get any smaller. The only way of doing that is getting results. We've got Everton away in midweek. So I'd argue this is the more winnable game. But whether or not we can produce that is a very different question. They've got a bit of an aging side. The likes of Guendouzi and Kelleher still involved. But let's make as many changes as we can. Be back in a moment to run through the 11. Well, we are down to the bare 20 today, and rather worryingly, Josh O'Brien is going to have to start a centre-half after his poor display in midweek, because as well as the Mayer injury, Striker has not yet made it back to fitness. He is on the bench, but only by default. Well, we tried our very best not to use him. The rest of the side, I think, is what you would expect. So we've got John Moore in goal, Chauvin and Shabinda the fullbacks with O'Brien and Hanifan as centre-half. Bernal and Du, Moreira and Cordes the midfield diamond, Rickett and Torres the front 2. We really need Rickett to find his scoring boots again, because if he doesn't, I'm starting to worry about where the goals come from. We've adjusted the central midfield role back to centre mid on support for Moreira because we were starting to ship a few too many goals. Let's see if it makes a difference as we head to West Ham, a big game in the context of our Premier League season. So it's 8 changes for us from the Cup, just more O'Brien and Bernal keeping their places. 7 changes for West Ham from the same midweek fixtures. They've got the likes of Keane Lewis-Potter on the bench to call upon. Dembele starts, Guendouzi starts, Teo starts at left back, someone we've managed in the head coach this year. We're going to tell the lads to get out there and prove a point. We need them to be at their very best. We've got most of the team motivated. We've got goal droughts galore, but that is something we really need to end. I don't want to comment on that. Can we pick no comment? We can indeed. Let's get into the first half at the London Stadium. West Ham v Hemel Hempstead. A big game for the Tudors as we're back already with Chauvin at right back. He plays short to Hanifan. Massive pitch. Can we take advantage? Just surge him forward, Hanifan. No pressure at all. Chauvin over the top. Ricker's in. That chat, it always works. The goal drought ends and just 4 minutes in, we take the lead at the London Stadium. Now, can we have one of those days like Watford, please, where we just start taking our chances and being ruthless? Because every game that gets settled by 1 or 2 goals generally goes against us. As Bernal at the back plays to Hanifan. Time in possession again. Down the right to Ndu. He finds Ricker. Cordes inside him. Goes himself. Hits the woodwork. Oh, he's so good from the edge of the box. He always hits or gets close to the target. And it's 1-0 with 10 minutes gone. But we have been dominant so far. We have to make it count though, because we've seen how frail we are. As O'Brien, a bit of a utility man at the back. He doesn't often get a start in his preferred position. But he goes back to the keeper there, who finds Shabinda. Moreira through to Cordes. It's a wonderful ball. Defence splitting again. And Cordes hits the woodwork for the second time in 3 minutes. It should have been 2-0 at least twice already. But unfortunately, it's just 1. And that may come back to haunt us. As we've had a quiet spell now, and we're 28 on the clock. We're back with a free kick in our own half. Moreira with a wonderful pass though. Splits the defence. The keeper rushes out. Kelleher does really well there. Only as far as Chauvin though on halfway. He finds Jack Hanifan. Got support from Bernal. He plays short to Hanifan again. Got time and space to run into. Basically every attack has started with him so far today. He's going all the way here on a mazy dribble. And then doesn't know what to do. Gets a nosebleed and gives it away. As Dembele on the right. Back to Chamanga. I remember him scoring against us last season. It's up to Jota on the left and Carlos. Intercepted by Chauvin though, and Ndu finds Moreira. He's played really well so far, as it's up to Torres and Cordes. Through to Ricker. Might have been offside. And it's normally the way when the finish is that good. It's into the back of the net. He could really do with a brace for confidence, but I'm pretty sure this will be ruled out. It is. Stays 1-0. Mario Ricker back in form though. And just like that, we're through to half-time. Given a decent opposition and the fact that we came out the trap so fast, that might be our best half a game of the season. The problem is, in the second half, we very rarely keep it up. We often finish poorly in these matches, and we haven't taken chances to make it 2 or 3-0. And that, I still feel, is going to come back to catch us at some point. But let's see how we get on, because with an hour gone, West Ham haven't really offered anything. And I don't know whether we need to go defensive today or not. What I'd really like is a second goal, as O'Brien comes out from the back again. Had a solid game in fairness to him so far. Referee won't get out of his way. Move, man! He gives it away in the end, but the ref was basically marking him there, jockeying him down the pitch. As Dembele gives it to Chamanga over the top, it better not lead to a goal. I mean, the offside flag's up. VAR will check it. But I think it stands. It looked on to me. And O'Brien... I mean, thankfully it's disallowed. But O'Brien was literally being marked by the referee there. I don't know what he's supposed to do. And with 20 to go, we're going to have to make some changes because we need to preserve legs. As Cordes finds Moreira. We'll wait for the highlight to finish first. And do up to Ricker. He's got support. Goes alone though. It's a good sliding challenge. And it falls for Moreira on the left wing. Cuts back to Shabinda. He runs inside. Finds Moreira again. Tries to curl it in that postage stamp. But it's comfortably wide of the post. 15 to go. Let's make the first change. Ndu will be replaced by Kaplan, who's a slightly more defensive mind. Torres will be replaced shortly and probably by a defender. But we haven't actually got any other centre-halves, have we? Might have to be Albi Armin. So with 10 to go, let's go and do that. We'll take Moreira off in the middle to freshen things up with Panjkovic. And then I'm going to take off Carlos Torres either for Jose and tuck in Chauvin or for Armin, who will play in the middle. I'm going to do it for Jose. We're going to put him out to right back. Chauvin will go in the new look back three. Who plays in the middle? I think maybe O'Brien has the best anticipation. So he'll play there. Hanifan off the left, Chauvin off the right, and Shabinda and Jose the fullbacks. Please let it work. Please let us hold on, because we've been really good in this match and don't deserve to throw it away. And as we head into 3 minutes of stoppage time, I've gone to a cautious mentality, and the back five tactic has worked. We've seen out an absolutely pivotal 1-0 away win. A great first half performance, a gritty, rock solid second half one. And Hemel Hempstead Town will stay in 7th place despite a very low points total, despite going out the Carabao Cup in midweek. That is incredibly promising. 12 points clear of the relegation zone, exactly where we want to be. And let's be honest, if we can get in a fight for somewhere between 7th and 10th, this is an incredible season. We just survived the first year. We were fortunate, let's be honest. Second year we were comfortable and just a few points away from the top half. Now I want to try and get our way in there. It's going to be a big January. We've got injuries galore. But let's have a look at the schedule for when we're going to be back. I think based on the schedule, we're either going to be back for Norwich at home or a 4th round FA Cup tie, because those are the fixtures scheduled to be either side of transfer deadline day. And I would expect there to maybe be one addition in January, just to try and freshen up the squad a bit. Of course, Ricky is going to be leaving us. We'll do a proper homage to him in the next episode. But what is crucial now is that our away form is the thing keeping us in the top half. Picking up big away wins, we've got a mixed end to the month. United is going to be tough, of course, as will Spurs next month and Everton in midweek. But we've got some winnable home games. I said that last episode and we ended up not winning any of them. Let's hope we can change that here. If you did enjoy this episode though, a big double header, a strong fight against Arsenal in the League Cup, but a big 3 points on the road in the Premier League. Let me know in the comments, can we sneak 7th? It looks like a low points total might make it possible. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. Arsenal will feature heavily in tomorrow's head coach episode, so please do come along for that. You can find a link to that playlist in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the new merchandise store too. Please do remember to use LOADFM5 at checkout for 5% off all products. Above my head now though will be yesterday's head coach episode. I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time for a tribute to Ricky and transfer deadline day.